Welcome back to another episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. We're here at Groovy Cinema Pub reviewing more films for you. I'm Jimmy Martin with Slug Magazine.
And I'm Jeff Weiss with MSN Entertaining. Find Big Movie Mouth Off on Xfinity, Utah Comcast Xfinity, On Demand, Salt Lake Alternative, Neat Little Slave says Big Movie Mouth Off. Older reviews and more current things like what we're going to review today.
Well, we're going to be jumping right into the pool with the incredible Burt Wonderstone. This is a PG-13 comedy starring Steve Carell and Steve Buscemi as, I would say, think Siegfried and Roy, magicians in Las Vegas. They were childhood friends. They grew up together. They wear goofy suits. They're bedazzled with jewels. We don't see any really tigers, I would say, but definitely large props as they do their tricks in Vegas. And as the years go on, their style becomes, I would say, outdated. For sure. Yeah, right? And then outside on the streets, we find another magician played by Jim Carrey, who I would say picture David Blaine mixed with Chris Angel.
Yes.
He's douchey.
He's sort of a performance artist.
Yeah.
He's the new breed of...
gross magic almost.
Yes.
Yes. So you got Jim Carrey outside, basically saying this is what magic is becoming, so they decide that they're going to revamp their style, which is very hard to do when Burt Wonderstone, who is Steve Carell, is an egotistical jackass who refuses to learn new tricks. Maybe he's gotten too in the niche, just doesn't want to really change his style, has no passion for the art form anymore.
He just wants to play it safe.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because that's what the film wants to do.
Listen to me, Burt.
Nobody likes you. Nobody will ever like you.
Welcome to the amazing world of magic.
Wow.
Everyone loves a magician, and they'll love you too.
Do you want to be my partner? More than anything.
I'm Burt Wonderstone.
And I'm Anton Marvelton.
But of course, you already knew that.
Your ticket sales suck.
What?
Steve Gregg, they're calling him the future of magic.
This guy's a magician. He doesn't even have a costume.
I'm sure you've seen people walk on red-hot coals, but I doubt you've seen anyone spend the night on red-hot coals.
I'm sexy and I know it.
You need to do something fresh.
So this is where old entertainers go to die.
Mm-hmm. And some not so old.
May I see that for a minute? Watch this.
What have you done?
I'm a magician. Should have explained that to you earlier. You're Rance Holloway. I had your magic kit as a kid.
I'll give you your money back. What you're feeling right now, that's why you became a magician.
How did you do that?
It's partially deboned.
What you do is not magic.
It's natural for a dying leaf to be frightened by the autumn wind. Your skin makes me cry.
We need some sort of grand illusion.
You and Burt Wonderstone plan to stay in the box an entire week?
I can't breathe! It's only been 20 minutes!
This is the best trick ever.
Okay, you bring up PG-13.
I did that on purpose.
And I think this film would have been better off if they'd gone for an R because
It's true.
it's like someone took a sander and sanded all the edges off this film.
Well,
it's basically two talented guys, Steve Carell and Jim Carrey, who you might remember Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
They were in together. Where
Well,
Steve Carell stole scenes. Guess what? He is phoning it in here.
Well, it's sad when Steve Carell, who is an amazing comedian, he's the least funny
part of the
actor
movie
on the screen. And it looks like he's doing his best to do a Will Ferrell character.
Yes.
And so I'm looking at, this egotistical, it's almost like a little blend of Ron Burgundy and a little bit of his character from Talladega Nights. And it's just, it doesn't work. Yeah, Ricky Bobby. It doesn't work for this. And when I said PG-13, it's because I really do believe this would have been better as an R-rated film. Because these actors do their best work when they're let off the chain. When they don't have to, and I almost would guarantee you there's probably a director's cut out there where they did let them off, and they're like, just have fun, but then we're going to use these, soft, soft edge cuts.
I would welcome that because that suggests there might be some actual jokes as compared to what this film is, which is a couple of guys looking goofy, sort of acting goofy.
It's
as if that
weak
is supposed.
jokes.
Yeah, it just.
They're weak jokes. You know, I will say it ends on a highlight where I kind of walked out smiling, but it's just when you really start looking back at it, you're like, I didn't. And I've noticed this with a lot of comedies nowadays. When I start noticing that I haven't laughed in a while,
right?
And I'm like, you know, we always say looking at our watch, but sometimes I'm like, all right, this is a comedy, and no one in this theater's laughed in like a good 5 or 10 minutes. That's not good, you know?
No.
Especially with a short running time. And that's what, you know, like I said, you get a little, it's not horrible. And I will say this, the main reason to watch this film is Alan Arkin.
Yes.
Who plays a veteran magician who actually inspired Burt Wonderstone to become a magician as a child.
Yes. But every time Alan Arkin is on screen, you wish that this were a prequel about his character.
That's exactly what I wanted when I walked out.
When he goes away, it's like, oh, we're left with Steve Carell again.
It's, yeah, you almost get sad. You're like, where'd Alan go?
Yeah. It's just sort of there.
And Jim Carrey is essentially just being Jim Carrey and screaming and throwing his body, his limp body everywhere. So, I don't know. It was kind of a disappointment. You know, I kind of, right when I noticed it was PG-13 kind of walking into this, I was nervous walking in. And so, I'm giving it 2 stars.
Yeah, and you know, that's right where I am too. Not quite 1.5. Because, but I'll warn you, this is not a funny movie. It's a
really good rental when you have nothing to do.
Absolutely. You probably smile more than you will laugh at this film. I agree, 2 stars. A big disappointment. You know, it would have been more interesting maybe if they had flip-flopped on the roles, to be honest.
Could be. You know, maybe just because I associate, I mean, Steve Carell and Will Ferrell are almost like this nowadays, you know, and when you see him trying to emulate his friend, it just doesn't work right.
Yeah, and Steve Carell, I think, needs to be pushed a little harder, and this role does not allow him to do that.
Nope. All right, well.
Major disappointment.
We don't always get what we want, so, but maybe next time we'll get an R-rated comedy that's better. So that'll do it for this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off, and we will catch you here at Brewview Cinema Pub next time.